Starting your day off with a take on Vegas you won't get anywhere else.
Hi, I'm Holly Madison, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hi, this is William Shatner, and I listen to Brian Shapiro.
Hey, this is Larry the Cable Guy, and I listen to Brian Shapiro. Why? Because I'm a good American. So is he. And if you don't listen to him, you need to pack up and leave this country.
This is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
Come on, guys!
What's up, Vegas? It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro, glad you could join us on a Thursday. Yeah, there is some stuff to talk about today. It's going to be a very busy show. Let me just give a rundown of some of our guests. Hour number 2, of course, if you haven't noticed, the Vegas Golden Knights are in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they're facing San Jose. They lost yesterday. Brian Salmon, our good friend from Channel 3, out there at the game yesterday. He's still there, I believe, in San Jose. I don't know what he's doing. That's my real question. What do you do in San Jose on a day off? So we'll talk to Brian Salmon about that coming up in the 7 p.m. hour. Also, Mike Babcock from TMZ Sports. So that's a busy hour number 2. Hour number 1, our in-studio guest today. J.D. Sharp is out, by the way. My co-host is out again. He's taken all of his vacation days, I guess, in the last month or so. But Chris Wynn filling in, does a fantastic job here. A regular on the Vegas
The other
Take.
guy, right?
That's right.
Brian? The other guy that's in here every once in a while.
No, you're here. You're here every week, and we're glad you could be here. It's not fun doing the show by myself. It really isn't. I get ganged up by all my callers. It's tough. I need somebody to defend me, and you're very good at doing that. I appreciate that.
You do need kind of a little support system every now and then, no question. Especially yourself, because you're known to have be very opinionated.
Yes.
Okay, so and it's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, sometimes you do catch a lot of heat.
Wait, Shapiro with an opinion? I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. But no, you're right. I do have quite a few opinions, as do you, and that's the way I like it. Those are the guests I like to have. You won't find a more interactive show than this one, folks. The phone lines are always open at 257-5396 if you want to call in. So I want to go through a couple very important bullet points in regards, and they all have something to do with Donald Trump, right? And I want to bring them to the table because this is really important. I've talked about Kim Jong Un a lot on this show, and I told I've spoken on this show. I hate the fact that it seems like Donald Trump always bows down to this evil, murderous dictator. Make no mistake about it, that's who Kim Jong Un is. And, when it came to the Otto Warmbier stuff and saying, well, he believed Kim Jong Un had nothing to do with that, I thought that was completely and utterly disgraceful. And I told you months ago that the president was being played by this guy, and Kim Jong Un wasn't just going to say one day, hey, you know what? Here's my weapons of mass destruction. Here are my nuclear weapons, Mr. Trump. I really like you a lot. Here you go. Well, now Kim Jong Un seems to be angered by some sanctions, and he's making threats towards the United States. Not a surprise. But Donald Trump continues to tout his relationship with Kim Jong Un, saying today, even after these threats by Kim Jong Un, today, Donald Trump said, we have, quote, a great relationship. On a day where Kim Jong Un, this evil, murderous dictator, threatens the United States, I am shocked once again, but I guess I shouldn't be, that our president is touting his relationship. So that's one subject that I want to talk about today. Also, former FBI Director James Comey, you could say what you want about him, but he says he has absolutely no idea what Attorney General William Barr meant when he testified that he believed the government spied on President Donald Trump during the 2016 campaign. That's not only what Barr said, but Donald Trump consistently talks about that time and time again. He did it, over a year ago, and he continues to do it now. Nobody has shown any solid proof that Obama or anybody in his administration spied on Donald Trump. Nobody knows where this is coming from. Barr has absolutely no proof. If he does, he hasn't shown it, and he doesn't say he has proof, and Donald Trump, the same thing. And then the last thing I want to talk about in regards to the news of the day is Julian Assange. We know that there's been an arrest made. This is the guy from WikiLeaks, okay? Trump was asked about it today, and he says he claims to know nothing about WikiLeaks despite past praise for WikiLeaks. If you recall, when Donald Trump was running for president, all he did was praise WikiLeaks. Let's get the dirt on Hillary Clinton. We love WikiLeaks. He talked about WikiLeaks on the campaign trail. It seemed like almost on a daily basis. But now, all of a sudden, he wants to distance himself. This is what Donald Trump does. Okay. Do you remember back in the day when Donald Trump said all those wonderful, nice things about Michael Cohen? Michael Cohen's my attorney. He's a great guy. I've known him forever. I only hire the best people. And then when Michael Cohen flips on him, the second Michael Cohen flips on him, Michael Cohen, bad guy, liar. Well, you're the one that hired him. So whose fault is that? You're the one that hired all these people in the White House that have either, been arrested, have been indicted, are possibly in jail. We've heard him still today talk about Paul Manafort. Paul Manafort, the way he's been treated, unfair. I feel really bad for Paul Manafort. He feels really bad about all these people that he hired. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to Assange and it comes to WikiLeaks, he knows nothing about it. He wants to distance himself. When 2 years ago, I believe WikiLeaks helped Donald Trump win the election. I truly feel that. We'll open up the phone lines on these three issues. We're going to discuss this throughout the hour because I think there are three very important stories, and it's very interesting to me when you have an evil, murderous dictator making threats and Donald Trump still saying they have a wonderful relationship. It's a joke. The number to call if you want to be a part of the show, 257-5396. Again, that number to call if you want to join into the conversation, 257-5396. Chris, what do you make of these three stories that I just brought to the table today? It's incredible, isn't it?
Well, it's amazing the amount of hypocrisy. You can't even quantify the amount of hypocrisy that we deal with on a daily basis now in this country, from the standpoint of either Trump supporters or people who are never Trumpers like myself. It's unbelievable. It really is. It's got to a point now where you almost expect the opposite from President Trump. You expect him to, whatever the norm should be, whatever the right thing to say should be, whatever the noble and honorable and presidential thing to say is, Donald Trump is going to say the opposite. And I pointed out to you, Brian, yesterday, and this is something that if you follow my Twitter feed, you're very well aware of. It really is a situation where we need to start thinking about the 25th Amendment. I don't think there's any question. And I don't say that lightly. Okay? There's just way too many examples where the president has been very evident he is not fit to serve as president of the United States. When the statement, you brought up William Barr. Okay, and we've also talked about immigration for the past week or so. The president, within a matter of 3 or 4 minutes, I believe it was was it yesterday or 2 days ago, started talking about the Obama administration putting kids in cages, right? Mm-hmm. And basically blamed the Obama administration for doing something that was horrendous, and then he was the one that stopped it. His administration was the one that curbed it and didn't want to do it anymore.
Which is not true.
And then, not even in the same day, not even in the same week, I'm talking about in the same 15-minute, it's not even a conversation, it was just basically statements being made by the president. Donald Trump went out and gave reasons why they need to have it. They need to have harsher immigration standards. The point I'm trying to get to is this. We talk about, Kim Jong Un and President Putin and MBS and the way that he treats these people who are murderous, horrendous people, okay, and uses glowing terms to describe them. Yet on the same notion, when it comes to immigrants, and I'm not talking about MS-13 murderers, I'm not talking about criminals who've come into the country and killed Kate Steinle in San Francisco, who got back in the country 5 times. I'm talking about refugees, families coming here looking for a better life. His description of them is directly opposite of what it is for President Putin and for MBS and for Kim.
Yes.
That, to me, is an indication that you do not have a grasp on reality. And there are a number of other, if you want to get into it and hit us up on the phone line, 702-257-5396 is the phone line. I want your impressions because this is something that I've talked about on my Twitter feed, and there's a lot of rational Americans out there that believe this president has no business running the nation anymore.
Agree, Chris. And in regards to Kim Jong Un, because you alluded to that, this is what he said today. He said, I do believe our over a period of time, a lot of tremendous things will happen. I believe North Korea has tremendous potential. This comes with the U.S. Commander-in-Chief has continued to praise Kim, as I mentioned, despite Kim's refusal to comply with U.S. demands and connections to human rights atrocities. It continues today, and yet Trump continues to praise this man and this wonderful relationship that they have, which is nonsense. We'll take some calls at 257-5396. Let's start with Michael. Michael, thank you for calling in. How are you?
I am good. How about yourself?
Doing good, Michael. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you're talking about Manafort, and, when he was, all these charges that were brought against him, he was working for Hillary Clinton at the time, not for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump
Was Paul Manafort ever working for Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, I don't know.
In any aspect politically, or any
not politically. No, not in a political thing, but in a real estate venture where all of his criminal and tax evasion things are coming from.
No. There's never been any connection with Hillary Clinton and Paul Manafort with respect to his business dealings. Otherwise, there'd be some kind of she'd be responsible in some way, right? There'd be some kind of legal action taken towards her.
Responsible for his criminal activities. If he's going to file his taxes in a
all right.
in an illegal way.
I don't understand what the connection is.
We're gonna, Michael. We'll just disagree on that, but let's try to focus. Okay. We'll just agree to disagree on that one because if it was true, Fox News would be talking about it 24/7. But let's just say you're right hypothetically. I mean, what does that have to do with what we're talking about?
Well, because you're bringing up Paul Manafort. What does that have to do with Donald Trump? If he's working for Donald Trump at this time.
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll answer that question. I'll answer that question for you, Michael. Donald Trump said, "I only hire the best people." Do you think he only hires the best people? Paul Manafort was his campaign manager. Michael Cohen was his personal liar. Does Donald Trump hire the best people?
Okay. Well, at the point in time when he hired Cohen, he may have been a good guy. Cohen's been squeezed.
Come on.
At the point in time when he hired him.
I'm not saying Trump is the most outstanding individual I've ever met in my life.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you.
However, stepping into that situation of running a country, because we all know it's a business. There's in the political corruption inside of our government is unbelievable.
Yes, I agree. In politics in general, yes. Our government, yes. There's a lot of corruption, but those three things that I named today, you brought up.
And I will agree with North Korea, though. We need to do something to that, dude, because what he did to that young gentleman,
Otto Warmbier. And why is it? Let me ask you a question, Michael. Let me ask you a question in regards to that, Michael. Okay. So, what do you think about Donald Trump standing up there in front of the world and agreeing with Kim Jong Un when asked about Otto Warmbier? What do you think about Donald Trump talking about the amazing relationship that they have together when there is absolutely and positively no evidence to support that what Donald Trump has done nothing? There's no evidence to support that their relationship is fantastic. I'll tell you what it shows me, that Kim Jong Un is playing Donald Trump. That's what it appears to me.
That may be happening because just like his dad was a player.
Right.
Kim Jong Un's dad was a piece of shit.
Okay, well, we can't swear. So don't say that. But I appreciate the call. Thank you for calling in, Michael. But
this is a question I just posed, though, Brian, is this. How come he uses glowing terms and positive adjectives to talk about people like Kim Jong Un and Vladimir Putin and MBS, yet he'll use opposite terms when he's talking about just refugees from other countries trying to come to America? He'll blast immigrants.
Right.
You know, he'll talk about groups of people that can't even defend themselves.
Yeah.
That, to me, is one of the biggest
These people coming into this country, they're rapists, they're bad people, and I suppose some of them are good people. Have you ever heard?
Kim Jong Un is a leader.
Kiss his feet, though.
It's unbelievable.
Kiss Vladimir Putin's feet. You know, Vladimir Putin had absolutely nothing to do with interference in our elections, and Kim Jong Un is a great guy, right? Great person. I mean, these are comments that Donald Trump has made. The number to call 257-5396, 702-257-5396. And you're right, Chris. You know, he'll say some of the most horrendous things about an illegal coming into this country that has no history of violence, that hasn't, committed any serious crime besides coming into this country illegally. He'll say the worst things about some of these people that just want a better life for themselves and their children. But when it comes to Kim Jong Un, it's like a love affair for him. It's unbelievable. 257-5396. Let's go to Gary. Gary, thanks for calling in. How are you, Gary?
You know what?
Yes, sir.
You're such a retarded genius. You make me sick.
I don't know what that means, Gary.
It's a weird combination of words, isn't it?
I don't know what that means, but I'll take that as a compliment.
I disagree with President Trump and who is advising him. Let him keep the damn nuclear weapons and point them at China and make peace with South Korea and slowly and surely.
Well, I don't think
reunite with.
I don't think
Before you interrupted, can I say anything?
You did say something. You said, go ahead and let him keep the nuclear weapons. I should have stopped you right there.
Right there. You start off the conversation like that, you're going to go south.
That's kind of a ridiculous comment. We don't want Kim Jong Un, Gary, to have nuclear weapons. He is a madman. He is an evil murderous dictator.
I don't want you to have a radio station because you're an idiot.
Okay, thank you, Gary. I appreciate the call. Keep on sucking back those beers and having those shots and have a great night.
Come with some substance, man. You can't just jump on the radio and just start popping off with no. with no juice. Give me some action there, Gary. Come on.
Gary likes the liquor. Gary likes the liquor. That's okay. We appreciate the call, Gary. Let's 257-5396, the number to call. 257-5396. Let's go to Marge. Marge, thanks for calling in. How are you, Marge?
Good. It's a nice day before Friday, Dave.
There you go. Yes.
As far as I did an about take today on this whole thing with WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
Because back in the campaign, when Trump got caught in this whole Access Hollywood tape situation,
mm-hmm.
WikiLeaks came to his rescue and started dumping all the things about, Hillary.
You are correct on that. Yeah, interesting timing, to say the least. I agree.
Oh, it's perfect timing, yeah. And then today, because this guy gets hauled off, he's not going to back him. He's not loyal at all.
Right.
And this about face is just like, remember the other day when he said where his father was born?
Oh, in Germany. Yeah, that was a lie.
Yeah, and everybody knew he was born. I don't know. But, part of the strategy, and this is even with our friend Kim, what I really wonder is, people, if you keep on repeating the same thing, people start believing it. They don't think for themselves.
You're
they
right.
Don't research.
You're right.
They just believe it, and you say it long enough and hard enough. And, this is marketing, and who's the master marketer?
Mm-hmm.
Trump.
Absolutely.
So this is part of who he is, I think.
Yeah, it's so interesting, Marge, you bring up, WikiLeaks, because, somebody who's loyal would say, look, I feel bad for Assange, and, I like WikiLeaks.
Absolutely.
It would be incorrect to say that, but 2 years ago, you go back 2 years, Trump couldn't say enough nice things about Assange and WikiLeaks, right? He loved those guys. He's so disloyal. The second somebody gets caught doing something dirty, Trump will, turn his back. But the day before, he'll say what a great person they are. You're so right, Marge, and it's frustrating.
It's very frustrating, and this whole thing with the immigration policy, my feeling about Congress right now is if they stop investigating each other,
mm-hmm.
maybe they could do some work for us that we're paying them for, and take a softer approach on all of this immigration issues, and maybe we come up with a solution finally.
Hallelujah, Marge. I could not agree with you more. Always good to hear from you. We appreciate the call. 257-5396, the number to call. I don't disagree with anything she said.
Being loyal to President Trump. Ask Reince Priebus about that, okay? Ask John Kelly about that. Ask Jeff Sessions about that. Ask a number of people who are Republicans, who are in his corner, who are on his side. And they still were thrown out to the wolves.
Stomps all over them.
We talk about loyalty, and Trump likes to tout it as something that is important to him and that he wants it when he's either in your cabinet or he's in your circle.
Yeah.
Yet when you just mentioned it, Chap, when you turn it on its end, and when there's an opportunity for him to boot you out the door, he is not afraid to just drop loyalty altogether.
Absolutely not. 257-5396. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff, thanks for calling in. What's on your mind, Jeff?
Hey, guys, I just wanted to comment on, you're saying, how can Trump say these nice things about Putin? But, on the whole, all it is has been just words. For every actual policy action, we've been very hard on Russia. We've enacted sanctions. We backed out of an arms limitation treaty. We're actively opposing their economic interests as they try to do a gas pipeline deal with Germany.
Let me ask you a question. And by the way, I don't necessarily factually agree that he has been the hardest person on Russia. That's a Fox News talking point. But let me ask you a question. You don't think the president's words matter?
Of course, the president's words matter. But, I believe the last time American presidents had real bad things to say about Russian presidents, we were kind of living under the threat of a nuclear holocaust.
What about Kim Jong Un? What has he done in that relationship to help us? Go ahead.
We've tried the belligerent line of action for decades now, right?
I don't think you have to be belligerent. Jeff, I don't think you have to be belligerent. But when you're asked about Otto Warmbier and you're asked about the horrible atrocities, the human rights atrocities that Kim Jong Un has done, let's call it for what it is. And when you stand up there as the president of the United States, Jeff, you have to admit you look a little weak when you say, well, I believe him. I believe Kim Jong Un had nothing to do with it. Kim Jong Un told me he felt really badly about Otto Warmbier. I believe him. You look pathetic as a president, and it makes the country look bad when you act like that in front of an evil, murderous dictator. I don't care if it's Vladimir Putin or Kim Jong Un. You look terrible, Jeff, when you say that. This isn't just about policy. It's about being the president of the United States, you'll admit it's a huge responsibility. You represent all of us. I'm going to tell you right now, this guy doesn't represent me when he stands next to an evil murderous dictator because he looks like a fool.
Sure, but I mean, you got to admit that you may disagree. Hey, maybe it's not the best tact, but sometimes in diplomacy, you may just say things for platitudes to try to gloss some things over while you're trying to iron out some other points that maybe are more important.
But I also find it very interesting, and you might too, that you don't even have to have a short memory. Back when Barack Obama was president, if he even thought about even sitting down with the leader of Iran, if he thought about sitting down with Kim Jong Un,
that's a good point.
Who were the ones that were screaming to the heights, screaming to the sky, saying, "Oh my, this is so un-American. How can he do this?" Right?
That's a good
this
point.
This is unbelievable.
We have the audio
and
to
yet
back it
now,
up.
all of a sudden, they turn on a dime.
Yeah.
Trump supporters, Republicans are all saying, Donald Trump, he's trying to be a diplomat. He's trying to sit down with Kim Jong Un and Vladimir Putin and MBS, even though they've done disgraceful things and trying to do the right thing for America. It's unbelievable.
Hypocrisy.
The spin that is being made.
It's hypocrisy.
It's unreal.
Let's go. I agree. It's hypocrisy. Let's go to Mary. Mary, thanks for calling in. How are you?
Hi.
What's on your mind?
Me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mary. What's on your mind?
Okay. I have a few disagreements with you.
Okay.
Number one, sounds like you're really in Obama's court.
Okay, hold on. Let's stop right there. I will let you continue. But with all due respect, Mary, this has absolutely nothing to do with Barack Obama. By the way, hold on. I didn't vote for Barack Obama, so I really don't know where that comment comes from. I talk about people that are in office.
You were talking about Putin and President Trump.
Yes.
Well, do you remember when Obama whispered and said after the election I'll have a lot more leadway?
Yes, I do remember that.
Talking about, okay? And when he sat down and he sent cash to Iran,
which I disagree
in the
with.
middle of the night.
Two wrongs make a right.
Yeah,
two wrongs make a right.
Which I disagree with. Is that what you teach your kids? Two wrongs make a right.
Yeah, is that because Obama did it? Now Trump can do it too. Is that the deal?
No, not at all.
Then why are you bringing it up?
That is.
Then why are you bringing it up then, Mary?
I don't have children, so don't even sit there and tell me.
Then why are you bringing it up? Answer our question. Then why are you bringing up Barack Obama?
Because you're liberal.
Okay, all right. Okay, idiot. Okay, this question, this comment right here.
You're a lib, right?
This comment.
She dropped it on you.
This comment is for Disgusting Mary, who just called in. Okay, I'm going to call you Disgusting Mary. Disgusting Mary, first of all, when you call into a radio show, you show your stupidity that you can't win an argument, so you decide to swear at me, Disgusting Mary, okay? When you call into a radio show, Disgusting Mary, and you don't have the intellect to have a debate with someone, and then when you look like a fool, the easiest thing for you to do is to call me a liberal, Disgusting Mary, okay? One other thing I will say. You brought up Barack Obama, not me, and we made the point, Chris and myself, do two wrongs make a right? Now, you look like a complete fool, and we made you look like a fool on a 50,000-watt radio station because you couldn't answer the question. If you had any intelligence, you would have said, no, you're right. Two wrongs do not make a right. That's what an intelligent person would say, but you are a fool and you are a deplorable. And when Donald Trump said I can shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and they would still vote for me, they were talking about Disgusting Mary. So thank you for calling in, Mary. I appreciate it. You have a disgusting mouth and you have pure stupidity in your brain. You're a pea brain. What do you think about that? By the way, I'm not a liberal. Nice try. I voted for Republicans. I voted for Democrats. You, ma'am, should not be allowed to vote because you are a moron.
And let me put a quick point on that also, Brian, okay? It's not just left-wing liberals, okay, that disagree or have issues with the president and his administration at times, okay? There's also people that are Republicans or used to be Republicans or that are in the middle or like Brian who are more apolitical, okay, that have a disagreement because it's A, right or wrong. That's it. Okay?
Yeah.
There's people that are Republicans. There are people that, Steve Schmidt, for example, Rick Wilson. There's a number of people, okay, that consider themselves conservative Republicans. And you can laugh at me, but Joe Scarborough as well, too, who now works for MSNBC. Mm-hmm. But he, by the way, used to be a Republican. Born and raised in the South, okay? Had a lot of hardcore conservative Republican views and ideology in his life.
Isn't it interesting,
And he disagrees a lot, too.
Yeah, but
all of a sudden, everybody's she's going to blast you and call you a left-wing liberal
there's a lot
because
of idiots.
we disagree with Trump?
There's a lot of idiots like that Mary, that can't have an intellectual debate with somebody, so then you just call somebody names when they sound like a fool. We're not talking about Barack Obama. We're not talking about Bill Clinton or Hillary Clinton. We're talking about Donald Trump, P-brain. All right, let's go to the next caller, 257-5396. Go to Jeff. Jeff, thanks for calling in. How are you?
Hey, Brian. What's up?
What's up, man?
Hey, I would just like to recommend to Mary that the epithet of choice on this show is buffoon rather than the F word.
You're right about that. I agree.
Keep that in mind.
Hey, if she called me a buffoon, I would not have hung up on her. I would have laughed.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, I would just like to point out another thing that, you can say that WikiLeaks may have helped Donald Trump win the election, but all the stuff in there was still written by Hillary and her, associates. So Hillary kind of screwed herself. If she hadn't written what was in the emails, they wouldn't have.
Well, even if that's true, Jeff, I'm not going to debate that with you. Even if you're right, the point I was trying to make was all that Donald Trump did was praise WikiLeaks when he was running for president. And now all of a sudden, when Assad gets, when he gets arrested, all of a sudden he says, "Oh, I don't know anything about that," and he backs away from it because he's a coward, just like him and his bone spurs. He's a coward.
The other thing I'd like to mention, your sidekick, I don't know what his name is.
Chris Wynn.
Chris.
Quickly.
I think Chris is going overboard a little bit when he's talking about evoking the 25th Amendment. I mean,
all right. Well, Jeff, can you stay on the line for us?
Yeah,
we will bring you back.
We're going to bring it back.
I actually can't. I have to run.
No problem. All right, I'll tell you what. We'll address this.
On the other side.
Okay, we will address this on the other side of the break.
And I'll go into detail as to why I think this way.
We got to take a quick break. We got Kevin and Andy on hold. I promise you we will get to your calls when we come back. The number to call if you want to be a part of the program, so long as you're not going to throw the F word at me like disgusting Mary did, 257-5396. The number to call again, 257-5396 if you would like to be a part of the program. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Take more of your calls on the other side. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.